Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about what I believe is the most negative zodiac sign, most pessimistic, the most negative sign. So anyway, and it does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Anyway, I'm going to start out with Aries. Well, Aries is it's hard for me to say that Aries would be the most negative zodiac sign because Aries, very single-minded, very purposeful. They're not easily discouraged. They are a sign that generally has little or no fear. And when you have those qualities and attributes in you, that fearlessness, it's really it's hard to say that they would be the most negative. They tend to be very positive, actually. They could be very pioneering, and they are a sign that, that really, to me, they are about new beginnings. They're about enterprise and initiative. They don't mull over things for very long. They could be quick-tempered, but they're not vindictive or vengeful or hold a grudge for too long. They're about moving forward. So for me, to think that they're the most negative, I would say no to Aries. But now Taurus. Well, Taurus actually, can be seen. They are a feminine sign. They're more pessimistic than optimistic on average, but Taurus can have a very benign demeanor and expression. And even, some Taurus even have some expansive energy that they bring. Taurus can have a vital temperament. They have some ability, I believe, to bring positive energy to others. Taurus people are very fixed, they're very determined, and they're not ones to just, to really be completely overly negative. I wouldn't really, I don't see them. They actually can have a very robust sense of humor. So even though it's a negative sign, it's a feminine sign, I'm not going to go with them as the most negative zodiac sign. Now, going to Gemini. Well, Gemini certainly would not be the most negative zodiac sign. Gemini can be very effervescent, animated, spirited. They often are, they often are about, their variety, their versatility. They like to do many different things. They're not going to be down and out for too long, even if they have their negative moments. They are not ones to stay in that mode for overly negative mode for too long a period. They are ones that really that they can actually take many people out of the doldrums, I would say, and actually be very positive. They are a masculine sign, and it's hard for me to say that Gemini would be, a sign that would really would be the most negative of the zodiac signs. So I would say no to Gemini. Gemini is very loquacious, very communicative, and they often are. They are the ones. They have very good. Gemini is very good thinking. Has very good ideas. They often will come up with solutions and ideas for those to help others out that are experiencing some difficulties and are feeling very negative. So I would not say Gemini is the most negative of the zodiac signs. Now, Cancer. Well, Cancer, of course, could be very temperamental and moody. They are a sign. Gemini can be mercurial, but they are still very positive. But Cancer can be very moody, temperamental, and fickle. They often, can be very brooding and lamenting over past hurts. They can actually be one of the most negative signs. They are a feminine zodiac sign. I have a strong Cancer energy. I understand I could be very negative. My chart basically is very indicative of somebody that's very negative, with the preponderance of planets below the horizon, Sun and Ascendant in feminine signs, but in etc. Saturn in the 12th doesn't help. But anyway, Cancer can be one of the more negative signs. But remember that Cancer is also the sign of life-giving. They're about bringing life to others. They're about procreation. They're not, it's hard for me to say they'd actually be the most negative of the zodiac signs. They can have certain animation in them, and they are they really are, they could be one of the bigger rescuers of the zodiac, and they could be helping those people that can be drowning, whether it's literal or figurative. So they do have certain positive energy in them that it just, you don't always really notice it. It might be kind of subtle, but Cancer is certainly one that really is not, I wouldn't say they're the most negative of the zodiac signs. Now going to Leo. Well, it'd be hard pressed to say Leo would be the most negative of the zodiac signs. Leo's energy can nearly be inexorable and indefatigable, and they have a very strong zest for life. They are ruled by the sun. They're often about having their sunny disposition and brightening others' lives and days. They are like Aries, not easily discouraged. Leo has that try harder than the previous time philosophy, so they're not ones to become discouraged or to become overly negative. I would not say Leo is the most negative of the zodiac signs. They could be very vibrant. They have a lot of vitality and energy and try to bring others to life that are feeling despondent or melancholy or down and out. So I don't think Leo would be the most negative of the zodiac signs. Now going to Virgo. Well, Virgo is one that, I mean, Virgo could be very shy and reticent. We don't really, it's not one that's overly positive, but Virgo, being very analytical, can see positives and negatives in certain things. I think they're often very service related. Virgo is a sign I don't really see them as being overly negative. They're not ones that have the great sense of humor or anything like that, but they can have that caustic wit about them. And Virgo actually can really have a nice disposition. They're not the most outgoing or extroverted or gregarious, but do often have a pleasant disposition, and they are often about encouraging others to be healthier. It's not a sign I would say would be the most negative. However, the fact that it is a feminine sign, they can be negative about things because they have that propensity toward worry and anxiety. So this certainly could be right up there with one of the more negative signs, but I think they are, but I'll tell you at the end of the video whether I think it's them or not. Now going to Libra. Well, Libra, I'd have a hard time putting them as the most negative of the zodiac signs. Libra is very sociable. They often are about intellectual sociability, ingratiating themselves with others. They're often about the exchange of ideas, bouncing ideas off others. They have a very amiable and friendly nature, and the fact that they can be very idea oriented. They're not ones to just mull in the past like a Cancer and say, zodiac sign Cancer, and be brooding and lamenting about things. They are being a masculine sign, they are very positive, very relationship oriented. If one relationship don't work out, they could often be very resilient as far as relationships go, and then move forward to another person and bounce back very readily. So it's not a sign I would think would be the most negative. Now, going to Scorpio. Well, Scorpio, they can be one of the more negative ones. Scorpio is a feminine sign, of course. Scorpio can be very skeptical and cynical, and they could be very judgmental and critical like Virgo, but it's flavored with a little bit more caustic energy, more sarcasm than Virgo, and it's really can come out really mean. And when Scorpio had to test something, or they have a disdain for a person or thing, they are in full throttle. They let you know fully really about it, and there's no real positive, you won't hear hardly any positive statements from Scorpio about a person. But remember that Scorpio is also, they're not just ruled by Pluto, they're ruled by Mars, and they can be very action oriented, so it gives them a little flavoring, really it gives them some masculine energy in them, even though it's a feminine sign. So for me, really in taking action instead of being idle and stagnant can be positive. So I would say no to Scorpio as far as being the most negative zodiac sign. Now going to Sagittarius. it'd be hard for me to say that Sagittarius would be the most negative of the zodiac signs. Sagittarius could be very effervescent, jocular, jovial. They can often uplift the most despondent groups. They are the pepper uppers, I would say, of the zodiac. They have very positive energy, and they generally don't want to be around people that are overly melancholy or pessimistic or negative. So I would say no to Sagittarius. Now going to Capricorn. Capricorn can certainly qualify perhaps as the most, I would say, negative zodiac sign. I mean, being ruled by Saturn, they could be very despondent and melancholy and be very negative. Remember that Saturn governs restrictions and limitations, and Capricorn can often be very sorrowful, even though Capricorn often can attain their ambitions more frequently than the other zodiac signs, but they're not easily daunted. But the thing about it is they still have a very negative and pessimistic quality to them. They often, I mean, I would see Capricorn succumbing to depression more so than the other zodiac signs on average. So they certainly can qualify as the most negative zodiac sign, and I'll tell you at the end of the video whether I think it's them or not. Now going to Aquarius. Well, Aquarius is a masculine sign. They're very positive. They can have, they're very innovative and ingenious. They're very progressive and forward moving. They are not ones to be lamenting and staying, in the past over anything. They're always moving forward. In fact, they could be the mavericks of the zodiac. They're often the ones that will do certain things that are very audacious that the other signs may not want to do. Like there was that guy, I forget his name, Nick Wallenda or something similar, who he's like that first person to tightrope the Grand Canyon with no netting, Sun in Aquarius. They are the ones that can be very positive moving. They could have unbridled enthusiasm maybe next to Sagittarius, but they are not, though, and very humanitarian and selfless, and they often help others out with being very altruistic. So I would say no to Aquarius. Now going to Pisces. Well, Pisces can be a candidate given they are a feminine sign, but Pisces, remember, is not just ruled by Neptune, they're ruled by Jupiter, so they have a little bit of hope and optimism in them, and they try to see the positive in others and overlook defaults and transgressions of other people. So it's really, I don't think they are the most negative of the zodiac signs. They are often about their isolation and about their seclusion and solitude and being by themselves when they want to escape the harsh realities of the outside world. But at the same time, they do have some positive energy, and they try to see the positive in a lot of people and things because they have that Jupiter co-rulership. I think that is what that is attributed to. So I would say no to Pisces. So hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that. I'm back. But anyway, I'm going to tell you the sign I think is the most negative on average would be the zodiac sign Capricorn. Again, given that they are ruled by Saturn. Capricorn can be rather melancholy, very despondent. If it's the ascendant, they could give that off on a first impression. It's the moon, it's more in an unconscious level. Sun is more conscious, the basic character. But if somebody has a Sagittarius ascendant and Capricorn sun, they will exude a much more, say, expansive and more optimistic, upbeat, more facade. And it may not be that the depressing energy of Capricorn may not be seen readily on the first impression, but generally speaking, and then Capricorn again can be, I do see them as being rather pessimistic, rather negative. They often see the downside, the negativity, the negative aspects and things. It doesn't mean everything's all doom and gloom for Capricorn, mind you, because as I stated before, they can often be the ones that will attain their career ambitions. They are very ambitious, industrious, and hardworking. And even Capricorns, even though in some cases they may not be, appears physically strong as a lot of these other people, other signs, like say compared to Leo on average as an example, but they will often do a lot more work for their size than the other signs, I would say, on average. They are very strong-willed, but they also can be rather negative as well about things. Again, they are ruled by Saturn, and Saturn governs restriction and limitation. They often will not expand their horizons, and they will stay. I mean, Capricorn, of course, is very orthodox and conventional. And they often will not. They're not known to be very broad-minded. Remember, there's a reason why the zodiac sign Sagittarius often falls on the 12th house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Capricorn, because the 12th house represents restrictions and limitations, and that exuberant, enthusiastic, expansive, and optimistic energy is often lacking in the zodiac sign Capricorn, and I do see them as being the most negative zodiac sign on average. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.